Welcome back to Talkin Shop with ShopSabre. I am Brandon here with Nick. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad, man. Sorry we missed you guys last week. I was at PRI.
And I was here working really hard.
Hardly working.
That's not true at all.
I got text
I
messages.
showed up every day,
You sent me a message and told me that you weren't coming in.
but I did.
I wasn't sure if you did. You didn't tell me you came in. You told me you were not coming in.
I think this is episode 131.
131.
Sounds right.
Sounds good enough for me. Yeah, no, I was at PRI last week, which was a pretty cool show. That performance race industry show. There's a lot of people there.
Let's say it looked busy.
Yeah, super busy. Pretty happy with the turnout. I mean, when you consider it's a racing show, the number of people that were really interested in our products, it was pretty cool to see
sweet.
the number of people that, obviously it kind of goes hand in hand, fabrication and racing. So, our CNC plasma line is a really big, deal in that market. It's really something that a lot of shops need or can utilize, and for them to see a lot of the capabilities we have. But then we also, we're there with our sister company, Langmuir Systems, the one that we acquired at the end of last year, and they released some new stuff, including the Titan, which is the most affordable CNC press brake. So that was a really big hit there at the show.
I saw a lot of comments and chatter about that thing when
Yeah.
they started posting pictures of it. People were pretty amazed by it.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I will say, seeing it in person, it's a pretty incredible tool when you consider what's out there. I mean, for the price they're selling it for, you can't buy a manual press brake a lot of times for that price. So it's a pretty well designed, well done unit.
That's pretty sweet.
Pretty happy with that. Yeah, no, like I said, it was a lot bigger show than I expected it to be. I had never been to PRI before.
Quite a bit different than AWFS, though, I think they said.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's AWFS. It's 75% of the people there are your potential customers, right? I mean, people who need your equipment. 75% of the people at PRI have no interest.
No.
They're just there to look at cars.
The cars and the racing stuff.
Racing
and
stuff. Yeah, they just
steering wheels, mini steering wheels.
Dude, did you see that picture I
Yeah.
sent you? The
That was
world's
great.
smallest steering
I
wheel.
laughed.
I don't
That
know
was
what you
awesome.
would use it for. I don't know if you race a grocery cart with it or what.
I mean, some people probably make their really little kids a cool go-kart, right? Maybe.
I don't know. That thing
2
was
to 3-year-old.
tiny. Yeah, it was tiny. Like Elf on the Shelf could drive with that one.
So it wasn't even big enough for you to use? I thought maybe it was your size, but you were just kidding.
Definitely not my size. Definitely too small. It was a small steering wheel. But
So it's a very kind of a niche show, I guess you could say.
very niche. It's right about, it's racing is what it's about. Lots of parts vendors there. Lots of, there are lots of engine machines there.
Sure.
Like, boring and honing and things like that. And yeah, it was pretty cool to see all the different technologies out there. But again, even those shops were really interested in plasma. So it was kind of cool to see a lot of those shops looking at our equipment to create their machines that these racers are using. So
That's pretty sweet.
yeah. And obviously end of the year. So there's a lot of people that were there to try to spend some tax money, trying to get money off the books before they have to pay taxes on it.
It's always a smart idea, right?
Right? Well, there's two things guaranteed in life, right?
Death and taxes, I think you always say.
Death and taxes. And they're probably going to tax me on my death when I'm done.
Probably.
So it's, it's one of those things where you know that in 3 short weeks, is it 3 weeks? Geez, it is already December.
It is, man. We're 2 weeks from Christmas will be over in 2 weeks. Think about
That's
that.
crazy.
We'll be back to work in 2 weeks and that's after Christmas.
That's nuts.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy because Christmas is 2 weeks yesterday. You're right.
Yep.
And when you think about that, that means you're 2.5 weeks from tax season.
It's wild, isn't it? It's
Anything
just like,
you don't do in the next 2 weeks, essentially, you get hit on the books at the end of the year.
So you better spend some of that capital.
Well, I think if you don't know where you're standing right now, you should be figuring that out because, you want to definitely make sure that you are prepared to pay your taxes and obviously, more importantly, prepared to spend any money that you're going to potentially save on. So, it's one of those things where a lot of businesses really gain by spending some money here at the end of the year and doing that. So, it was kind of cool, like I said, to see all the businesses walking around. And obviously, Section 179 is a big deal, especially because equipment like this qualifies. And so, we've talked about it many, many episodes here. But, Section 179 is something people need to think about because, as we said, taxes and death are the 2 things guaranteed in life. So
there's no better time than now in the next 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks now.
Spend some of that money to ease that burden, right?
Yeah. And, it's inevitable. You're always going to get somebody who calls you the week after the end of the year. They're like, oh, well, I need you to honor those deals. Like, that's not how it works.
Like, it kind of blows my like. Why would that be a thing? Like, why wouldn't you just do it a week earlier when you can take advantage of those things instead of waiting and pushing it off? I guess it's kind of like we've talked about in past episodes.
Yeah.
People just not having the urgency and having the right plan moving forward with your business, right?
Yeah. No, 100%. I think, that's the thing about, like, a lot of people, they just wait to plan. Like, there's lack of urgency and lack of planning in life, and a lot of people, what I have found, I guess it's just me, I've found in life, there's a lot of people that kind of are reactive. Like, they wait for something to happen, and then they try to be reactive to the situation.
Instead of being proactive, which
Yeah.
usually works better.
Yeah, and you think about in business, it's just really hard to have a successful business on a reactive basis. Like, I just couldn't imagine, like, we'll order parts when we need them.
You'd always be playing catch up
Yeah.
to try to be ahead of the curve, be ahead of everything, and not be scrambling all the time, right?
Yeah, and to me, that's exactly it. Like, that's a very poor way of running a business. I mean, in fact, that's, I think, why you see such a service level difference when you look at an American product like ShopSabre and some of the import products out there, is because a lot of import products, they're very reactive. They order the equipment up front that they need so they can make the sales, but they don't really invest in the support side of things. They don't invest in the parts that could potentially go bad with the machine, nor do they really care, right?
Right.
Because what happens is your machine goes down or your product goes down and you have to order parts, and then they just order what you need at that time. Well, that extends your lead time of why you're down. So rather than being down, a few hours, you're down a few weeks.
Heck, even months from
Dude.
some of the stories you've heard. Can you imagine, though, just like buying something and then all of a sudden being like, oh, well, it's going to be 4, 5, 6 months before we can get you back up and working. So now you've just thrown away a third to a half of your year of production because
Well, that's what I was
doesn't
going to say. We just had a guy tell us that he bought a competitor's machine, and not recently, he bought it a couple of years ago, and he said that the reason he's buying one of our machines now is that he has been down for 9 months. Can you imagine?
That's absurd.
How does a business survive for 9 months without their equipment working?
I mean, I think you'd have to get pretty lucky, don't you think?
Well, I
mean,
think, like,
that's crazy.
You're probably just paying somebody. Like, it's my guess is he's just paying somebody else to do
yeah.
the work, because, like, I don't know a single business out there that can just survive for 9 months without doing anything.
So you're just, like you said, you're just surviving. You're kind of just treading water at that point, getting your products finished, but also paying somebody all your profits to do it for you.
Think about all the stress that causes in your life.
No thanks.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, it wouldn't be very fun. I think
Man.
I'd be very sad. I just couldn't imagine, like, every day being like, oh my God, I hope nothing else goes wrong because we're already down.
Right.
Like,
I always like just wondering what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Are we going to make it through today and be able to
Right.
get something done today that we can
9
deliver
months.
tomorrow?
Like, it just blows me away when I think about that. 9 months without a piece of equipment running in my shop. Like, I'll tell you what, I would have already bought another machine.
Yeah, right? Could you imagine if there was, like, if our mill didn't work for 9 months? I mean, obviously that
No.
wouldn't be an issue, but think about all the things that thing does for
Yeah, like, I
every
couldn't
day.
imagine
Like,
that.
that's
Yeah.
just,
Like, I couldn't imagine it because, like, we would not make it.
we
Would have to go spend money renting time on somebody else's machine, because I know for a fact our customers aren't going to be like, oh, it's okay, Brandon, just hang on to my money and don't send me a machine for 9 months.
right?
Like, nobody's going to be okay with that.
Not at all. Not when you gave them a 3 to 6 week lead time,
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, we get yelled at when we're close to 6 weeks.
Right?
I couldn't imagine going 9 months without producing a part.
I mean, you would
Crazy.
you'd be, your reputation would be tarnished obviously for sure. If you had to start telling people, well, you can order it now, but we ain't gonna have it to you till September. I mean, they're gonna be like, okay, well, we'll go somewhere else. So imagine having to tell people that for 4 to 6 to 9 months that they just aren't gonna get a machine for half a year. You're not gonna sell nothing.
Yeah, well, that's exactly, it's reputation for the future.
Yeah.
That's the thing that scares me about the whole situation, is that it's not what I can overcome a problem today. But when it's a persistent problem like that for 9 months, right? I can't overcome that.
No.
Because at some point you're just treading water, right?
Yep.
It's one thing to have something go down and, hey, I'm sorry, I'm going to be a few weeks late. That's one thing. I'm going to be a few months. I'm going to be a half a year. I'm going to be 3/4 of a year late.
Yeah. No dice.
You didn't come close. That's like Google Maps, like typing in an address, and it's like, it's going to take you 45 minutes, and it takes you 4.5 hours. Like, what?
Maybe I should have just walked anyways.
Yeah, like, how did that
That's
happen?
crazy.
But I don't know.
That's a heck of a comparison, actually. To
Yeah.
just be like, that's wow.
Yeah. So I just think about that as you kind of get to the end of the year and like businesses and like thinking about preparation for 2024. We're preparing. We got a lot of cool things coming. We got some big things coming here at the end of the week.
It's going to be exciting on Friday.
Pretty excited on Friday. Yeah. Got some exciting things we're going to announce Friday, but
all the reactions on social media
dude,
are really
it's so
funny.
I just laugh. I like when somebody said a website.
Oh, another new website?
Like, we just did a website.
Way cooler than that, buddy.
Why would I do
Way
another
cooler.
website?
New websites are cool, but this is going to be way cooler.
We have some new things coming to our website in the future, though. I'm excited for that. That'll be in early 2024. We have some stuff coming there, too. But no, like, just, I'm so pumped. Like, so pumped for what's coming Friday. Both things that, that we have going on right now are really things people have been asking for,
Yeah.
So I'm pretty pumped about that.
It's going to be pretty sweet.
Do you think I dropped enough of a hint yet at what might be going on?
I mean, maybe for some. If there's
Those
people,
who listen.
If there's people that have been bugging you about things. And
those who
remember
listen.
the topics we've talked about in the past.
Yeah.
Things that people have been asking for. So
That's my thing is those who listen will now know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So the secret is kind of out.
It's kind
if
of
they
out.
can put two and
if
two
they
together.
can put two and two together. That's why I like podcasting. See, it pays to pay attention.
Yep.
But no, like I said, we're planning for 2024. We're trying to find ways to be more efficient as a company. Obviously, being American made is something we really are proud of. So it's always efficiency here, doing more in house. Trying to upgrade our systems. Our Sidekick series got some upgrades to it recently. Our Shopmaster was just released at PRI as our new redesign. So if you're at PRI, thanks for stopping by. But you got to see one of the newest, designs in the Shopmaster. So our Shopmaster got a facelift. Looks really cool.
People probably loved it when they saw it down at the show.
Oh yeah, it was
Nothing but cool things to say about it.
Yeah, a lot of people liked what we did with it. They were really impressed with the frame. The frame looks so much heavier duty with it. With some of the upgrades we made there, and yeah, I mean it's faster. Obviously, that's always nice when people see a machine going faster.
Yeah.
Both the Sidekick and the Shopmaster are now faster. Sidekick is the fastest machine in its class.
And it's funny. It's funny how just changing, the frame and the rails on the side, how much cooler it makes the machine look. It just looks like not that the other machine obviously wasn't good, but this thing looks really, really cool.
Well, it also improved the accuracy. That's the nice thing is the machine got more accurate due to some of the technology we have now, and which again, accuracy is limited to the cutter still. But I mean, the fact is the cutters are getting better, so now the machine's better as well. And then the fact that we have some new cool options, like I said, having the drill head capability on the plasma is huge. We got a plate lifter now, so for those of you handling heavy plate, we now have the ability to lift a plate up and down, so that when you load the sheet on the table or unload the sheet, you're not having to try to lift up a heavy piece of plate or try to get your forklift under it. Like it makes it easy.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah, so that's it's an option. Not everybody needs it, but it's an optional item that you can add on now.
Seem to have a lot of those things that people don't always need, but they can add on to use, right?
Well, that's exactly it. We've talked about it all the time. There's no two machines the same in the world, right? I mean, two companies really aren't going to do the same thing, right? They can be the same company. They can be they can be doing the same type of thing. Both of you could be a fabricator, but your demand in your shop is very different. Each, it's based on people. So we try to build a machine to your expectations. Some people's budgets are different. Some people's expectations are different. So we customize and we custom configure the machine the way you need it.
Yeah, they're definitely not cookie cutter, right?
I mean, we can build the same machine 100 times if we wanted to, but I can tell you right now that 3 people call me, all 3 of them probably buy something slightly different.
I mean, I think I personally see it on a daily basis looking through the the orders when they're entered into our log. Every single machine, some has 4 options, the next one has 25.
Right.
It's just funny to see how different every single one is. They're rarely are they ever the same.
And that's the thing is I guess for me that's what I love about it is it's always something new when you're even though we do the same thing every day, it's something new every day. You're talking to a different company every day. You're doing something different every day, helping somebody solve a different problem every day.
Yeah, and obviously the sales guys talking to different customers all day long, and just hear them talk about you hear them talking to cabinet shop on one call, the next call they're talking to a cabinet guy, but they're talking about completely different things.
Yeah,
because obviously they're both can be doing different things. One guy's cutting a certain amount every day. Some guy's cutting just a small amount every day. And they doing the same job, but builds a completely different machine.
Well, that's exactly it. Like you said, I mean, just simple difference between MDF door shops and non-MDF door shops. There's differences there, and some shops need more capabilities than others. So that's the nice thing with what we do. Hopefully as a business, as you're sitting there thinking about your customers, you're thinking about all the things that you could bring to your customer differently. You know, hopefully for 2024, you're improving something. And I guess that's what I would ask is like, as you're sitting there, just ask yourself, maybe while you're driving down the road or, you know, everybody poops, right? Let's just talk about it.
Yeah.
Maybe you're in the bathroom just thinking about it and just ask yourself, what are you going to do different next year? I mean, simple question. It's a simple question. Sometimes the answer is not easy. What am I going to do different next year?
Improve quality
Yeah.
for my customers.
Yeah, improve quality, right? Improve lead time, improve dependability, improve price.
And then outside of that, think about it for yourself. You're going to improve your profit margin, right?
Profitability.
Most likely. I mean, you're going to be more profitable.
Who doesn't like improving profitability?
So it's a win-win for you and your customers. Better quality, better lead times, and more money in your pocket.
Well, profitability is two things, right? If you're more profitable, you can afford to improve your product too, right? They go hand in hand. A lot of times an unprofitable company also typically has bad service. And it's because of the fact that they're not willing to go the extra mile because they're already running out of profits to work with, right?
Right.
So of course you're gonna, you know, those companies will cut corners. That's what I've always said. Like, you have to be careful when you're dealing with companies because like their tech support or their customer support or customer service, whatever you want to call it, it says a lot about the company. If their support is not very good, a lot of times it can also tell you that the product's probably not as good.
Right.
Because if the product was good, usually support's easy, right?
Yeah.
But also, they might not be very profitable. They might not be a product that lasts a long time because eventually, if the product has always got failures and people are complaining about it, eventually people either A, stop buying it, or B, the company discontinues it.
Right.
And either way, you as a consumer, you end up getting hurt.
Absolutely.
So it's like, you got to think about those things. And, you know, that's something I look into when I buy products is just like company reputation, support, what comes with it.
Well, and I think too is, are you going to go, if you go to somebody looking for some new cabinets and they tell you that they're cutting them on a CNC,
Yeah.
aren't you going to think that their quality is going to be better than somebody that you go and talk to that's still cutting them on a saw? I feel like I would want to have, you know, it's obviously automated and you know that it's going to be higher quality. I feel like I would put more trust in a person that's doing that or be less concerned about the quality if you're using somebody with a CNC.
I would agree. Me personally, I would say, yeah, that cabinet's going to be better. But there's a bunch of people out there that still think like handcrafted makes it better. Not thinking about, it goes back to something we talked about a while ago. You and I talked about how if you don't have something that's repeatable, right? That's how I look at it. Again, it goes back to that race car story I told you. Like when I bought my race car, I wanted something that was repeatable. Like it's the same thing here. Like I look at automation as a real benefit to people because it's consistent. My business is consistent, which makes my profitability consistent, but also my customer service consistent.
For sure.
And that to me is where I think that comes in. So yeah, for me, I think a lot more about like shops that have technology. Like to me, they're a better product. Like it means something to me when I don't care that you can cut my cabinet in a third of the time that maybe somebody else can. I'm not expecting a discount simply because you got it done faster.
Yep.
Like I'm expecting a better product.
And I guess
I'll pay for it.
And I guess I could say a year ago before I started working here, I probably wouldn't have known any better than if somebody said, hey, I'm making these cabinets on my panel saw, or somebody said I'm cutting them on a router. I guess I wouldn't maybe know any difference. So there probably is still a faction of people that don't know that part of it.
You were like gold jacket, green jacket.
Yep.
Right?
Pretty much. Who gives a...
Yeah.
Yep.
No, but it's the truth. Like a lot of your customers don't know. So I think that's you as the business owner. It's your job to educate your customer.
Absolutely.
And so as you're sitting here and you're thinking like, what am I going to do next year differently? Maybe next year you're going to educate your customers better. The more your customers understand, the better they will, believe in your product maybe.
For sure. And then obviously if they see you taking that time to explain it to them.
Correct.
Instead of just treating them like they should know or treating them like they're not smart enough to understand. Whatever type of thing.
Yeah.
You taking that time to entertain and explain it to them obviously is going to say more than just...
Maybe that's something you can work on for next year is as your business, as you look at it, maybe you need to ask yourself, maybe we got to do a better job of explaining versus assuming.
Yeah.
And that's something to think about because if you're listening to this, ask yourself, do you have a sales department for one? Maybe you do, maybe you don't, okay? But who does the selling in your company? For us, we have a really capable sales department, but I still take the time with sales guys to remind them that just because you know it, you can't assume your customer does.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes you get so complacent in the fact that, like, I do this all day long, it's so obvious to me that you forget to explain certain steps or you forget certain things because, well, I've done this 1,000 times this year.
Yep.
Yeah, but you got to remember, they've only done it once. That customer coming to buy that sign from you or that customer coming to buy that, fabricated bracket is only buying one this year. It's the first one they've done, but you've done 1,000.
Yep.
So you take no time with them because it's so obvious, but to them, they don't have any clue what they're looking at. They think your sign is no different than the sign that they got a quote online for.
Yeah, and I think a perfect example of that is yesterday one of the guys was talking to one of his customers and heard him ask the guy if he knew what the difference was between a rack and pinion and a ball screw machine. And the guy answered him and he said, yeah, that's pretty much correct, but there's a little more to it, and took the time to explain to him fully what the difference was instead of just letting that guy assume that he knew the complete difference when it wasn't the total difference. And I'm sure the guy appreciated fully knowing what the difference was instead of just what he was guessing it was.
Yeah, that's my thing is you really have to just ask questions. And sometimes it's just, hey, I'm not meaning to offend you, but do you understand what this means? Give them the opportunity to say, no, I really don't have a clue what you're talking about right now.
Yep.
Because by you assuming, sometimes people, like, they're trying to protect people's feelings, right? I don't want to, make them feel like they don't know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Like, you're not helping them. You're actually hurting them.
Yeah.
Because, let's be honest, we're all prideful. A lot of people don't want to stop you when you act like it's common knowledge.
Yep. And they don't want to. Obviously, they're going to appreciate you explaining it to them. And they're not going to take it as you thinking that
I'm
they're
that
not
guy.
smart.
Sometimes, like, if you don't give me the opportunity to ask the question, I'm not going to interrupt you and be like, I have no idea what you're saying.
Right.
I'm just going to let you go on your tangent, and then when we get done, I'm going to be like, okay, cool.
And then you're still going to wonder what the heck you
Well,
just
I
talked
just,
about.
me, I'll go on the internet and start researching. Yeah. That's my thing. But some people won't. Some people will just blow you off and go somewhere else.
Yep.
And so it's like, you have to think about that as your business. So maybe next year, that's something to think about. What can you change for next year? And that is maybe be more educational with your customers.
And that's a pretty simple and easy thing to do, right? Because obviously
it's just time.
But you're very well educated on what you're trying to sell, right? So take the few minutes to talk to this person and tell them what they need to know.
Well, we talked about this in an episode previously that unfortunately not everybody is educated on what they're selling.
True enough.
We talked about the fact that, like, there's a whole bunch of people in this world that know a lot more about their hobbies than they do about their job.
Yeah, it's true.
And maybe that's something you have to work on next year is helping educate your employees. Get them to a point where your employees can believe in what they're selling because they know it.
Yep.
The problem is a lot of people, bad sales guys are because they read from the manual and they do what they're told to do, but they don't truly understand it. They don't take the time to educate themselves.
Yep.
And some companies don't allow them that time to educate themselves. Like, for us, like, we're really big on educating every employee. And, like, it's not because, like, it's any other reason than it really benefits us. Like, the more you know about your product, it's going to help us. But the reality is there's a lot of companies that, like, the more you know about the product, the less beneficial it is to them. Yeah. Right? Because then you start to realize, like, maybe this product isn't as good as they said it was.
They'd rather just have you go and
read off the manual.
Sell it on a whim or sell it off of bullet points. And
read it off the manual. The stuff I told you to say that. Like, there's companies that have to deceive people to buy it.
Or they have, like, the program that you click a button and ask somebody this question, and you click in their answer, and then it tells you the next line to tell them. Like, they're not really telling you anything on their own. It's all just based on
robotic
what the
answers. Yeah, it's AI.
Yeah.
It's the power of AI nowadays. You don't have to really know it because you can just read through a questionnaire sheet. And I don't know. To me, that human element still is there. And, like, maybe that's what you have to think about next year is how do you incorporate AI into your business without losing the human element? That's something people need to start thinking about. AI's coming.
Oh, yeah. There's no stopping it. I mean,
it's here.
We all thought when we watched the Jetsons as a kid that none of that stuff was ever going to happen.
Isn't that crazy?
Right? Now we do FaceTime just like they were doing video calls.
They were doing video calls.
Just everything in that show is kind of, like, starting to happen.
It is pretty wild. It's wild to think, like, we thought of all this stuff years ago. Like, somebody thought of that, right?
Yep.
But they just didn't. They put it into a cartoon and made it like a show rather than making it an invention.
Yeah.
Like, they had the idea, but somebody made it come to life. Like, how do I make that happen now?
Mm-hmm.
And that's really where you're at today is, like, 2023. What are you going to do in 2024 to make you better? What are you thinking about? Like, I know it's coming, but I'm just not going to do it myself. I'm going to wait till somebody else does it. Like, be the first one to do it. Push the envelope.
Heck yeah. Be the first guy to do something. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Like, I was the first person to do this in 2024, and now look at there's millions of people doing it. But
Well, that's that.
I was the
Just
first.
be a trendsetter, right? Sometimes
yeah.
you got to do something that's a little uncomfortable because it's not what everybody else is doing, but
It's
a
gonna
lot of
make
people
you
start to
great.
see you doing it, and then they're like, "Hey, we should do that,"
Yep.
right? Like again, when we started doing podcasting, when we started doing videos, like it wasn't really big in this industry. Now you see people following in that trend, and I kind of like that. I like the fact that we kind of set the trends in a lot of this stuff.
It's cool.
I'm confident Friday we're going to set some more trends.
Friday is going to be awesome.
It's going to be sweet.
I've said that about 4 times, I feel like, but just knowing what's coming down the pipeline.
Yeah.
And
Well,
just-
you've been a big part of it. You've taken a lot of time to help me with this project, so I'm excited.
It's going to be awesome.
But yeah, no, like I said, it's the end of the year. 2 things guaranteed, right? Taxes and death. Taxes are hopefully coming first.
Right? No kidding.
Yeah, that's my hope for you. Obviously you're hopefully Jeremy's here now. Hey, Jeremy.
Hello.
Jeremy entered the room. I stole his laptop, so he's
Welcome.
coming to steal it back.
Nice.
Um,
It was my 1-year anniversary here on Saturday.
yours was?
Yep. That's pretty sweet.
Oh, that's right. My phone told me that. Nick has been there a
It's
year.
crazy that it's been that long already, dude.
Congratulations on making it a year.
It's surprising.
It is really surprising. I tried several times to change that.
It's just, I don't know, man. It's just crazy how quick the year has gone by, and then we're just going to be.
Okay, well, think about that. How quick the year has gone by. We're going to be back having this conversation again next year, right? And it's going to be like, oh my God, it went by so fast. Like,
Yep.
people don't realize, like, it's going to keep happening. Like, time is going to keep getting away from you. You don't have time left anymore. Like, you have to capitalize on this stuff. Like,
For
you
sure.
want to have more time in your life, you got to get involved in CNC equipment. You got to get automation in your business. Like, you got to do a lot of things because like, if I hadn't hired you, Nick, a year ago, I would be sitting here, like, I wouldn't have accomplished a lot that I needed to accomplish this year because I wouldn't have the time. Like, you took so much burden off of me all year long by dealing with a lot of the stuff that, normally I had to. So it's like, you think about that, like, had I waited a year ago to make this decision, where would I be, So it's like, companies need to think about that today. Like,
Yeah.
if they don't make the decision about CNC machines and they don't think about, like, how can we make ourselves better for 2024? Like, you're going to be in 2025 wondering the same question.
Yeah.
While your competitors pass.
Why didn't we do this a year ago?
Well, that's the thing is, if you think for 1 minute your competitors are just sitting around, you're crazy.
No, they're not.
Like-
they're talking to us today to buy a
Yeah,
machine.
literally, they're talking to somebody about a CNC machine.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
the large majority of people listening to this, like, you're in an industry. If you're listening to this, you're in an industry where CNC is dependent, right?
Yep.
So, if you don't have a CNC machine or you have a machine that still is kind of a piece of junk or undependable, well, then you would be crazy to believe that somebody else isn't also, like, trying to improve their stuff right now.
Right. They're sitting in the same boat as you, but they're being proactive and trying to fix that boat
Right.
that they're in without an oar.
Boat without an oar.
They're dead in the water.
Up a creek without a paddle,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Something like that.
They don't got a Spam can in the kitchen. Right?
I've never had Spam, have you?
Yeah, I have. We're in the Spam hockey tournament one time.
That's pretty cool. I won $500 at Spam Jam one time.
Spam Jam?
They have like a festival they had a festival at their place, and it's a crazy story, but like my dad's cousin, so my second cousin, I guess, was like a big wig at Spam, and they had this festival, and they had a putting contest, believe it or not, on this kind of janky, weird wooden putting thing, and there was like 16 people that made the putt throughout the day. Had to come back at the end of the day to putt off. I was the only person that made it. I won $500.
Did you all putt off when you got off the...
No, but I like
Should have.
jumped around and went crazy like Tiger Woods. I think I was like a junior in high school.
Really?
But just acting a fool after making this putt. And my mom was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Dude, I just won $500. This is sweet."
How old were you?
Like 17, 16 or 17.
$500 a lot at 17.
Heck yeah, it was, dude.
Yeah.
They're making like $6 an hour at that time
Yeah.
in my life. Like, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, you're like, I don't have to go to work for a week.
Like a month.
Like a month. True.
That's like 6 months of car insurance,
That's true.
man.
You were like, I'm going to become a professional golfer.
Pretty much. That
That's
was kind
like
of the start
that's
of
the
it.
moment
Yeah.
where you're like, see, that's what happened for me and my buddy. We were in high school. We started tournament fishing, like just for fun, like doing fishing tournaments, and we won one. Same thing. I think we won like $700.
I'm gonna be fishing on
Yeah,
TV
and we were
pretty
like,
soon.
we're gonna be professional fishermen because this is way better than going to work. And then we
Heck
found
yeah.
out that you have to buy boats, and lots of lures, and by the time you add in the cost, $700 doesn't cover a lot.
Doesn't cover anything.
And we realized really quickly, maybe we'll just do this as a hobby.
Covers your gas to get to the next lake
Yeah.
and fill your boat up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, back then it didn't. Back then you had your tank cost you $30.
Yeah, I suppose it was $1.50 a gallon.
Yeah, now it's ridiculous.
It's under $3 a gallon now, though, so
Diesel.
it feels like a win. No, I guess not.
Diesel's over $4 still.
Damn, really?
Yep.
Yikes.
Filled up yesterday, $110. Wasn't even empty.
Jeez.
I'd
I'd fill it every other day for like $20 just to not feel like I'm spending so much.
Then I had to be at the gas station all the time, and I hate being at the gas station. I almost hate being at the gas station more than I hate paying for it.
Buy a tank of diesel and put it in your backyard.
It's a good idea.
You can just fill up on.
I want to just fill
whenever
the
you
whole
want.
bed full of diesel fuel and then just pump for my own bed. Not like a swimming pool, like an actual diesel tank.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I was clear there. I wasn't thinking like putting a tarp down and filling it with
Oh yeah.
diesel.
No,
like
I know what you meant.
That'd be a bad idea.
That'd be pretty cool though.
No, it wouldn't. That'd be a
Why
terrible
not?
idea.
Never to go to the gas station. Then you can just have the delivery truck pull up out front of ShopSabre, fill your tank up every month.
Brandon, why does your truck weigh 20,000 pounds?
Well, because I thought it was a better idea to get a tank full of diesel to haul around instead of going to the gas
Might
station.
not spin out in the winter though. That'd be nice. Dude, what happened on Saturday? I come flying back in town. Land. It starts snowing, icing. The roads are terrible.
Well, it was kind of weird because I got here on Monday morning and there was still, or yesterday morning, I guess, and there was still like snow on the parking lot and stuff. I'm like, what happened? I had no snow at my house, like
At all?
literally zero.
Really?
And it's like 15 miles away. It's just crazy how that happens. But
Yeah, we had.
there's
I had to
still
drive
snow
to my
outside.
in-laws for Christmas on Saturday, and yeah, it was like icy and nasty.
It was totally just random.
Dude, I was sideways going down the freeway one time. Hit a real slick spot. A bunch of guys were sideways. It
On
wasn't just me.
Saturday or one time before?
Saturday night.
Saturday.
Yeah. Saturday night, we were coming back from my in-laws, and yeah, like a really slick spot, and like a bunch of cars started going all the directions, and my dirt track experience kicked in, and I
I was
went
just gonna
right
say.
between two cars sliding out of control. Just never got out of it, kept it. My wife just looked at me and she's like, that was pretty good.
The
I was
kids are like, yeah, way to go.
No, they were sleeping. They were out cold. They had no idea. They would have been, but they had no idea. They were out cold. My wife was awake enough to watch us go sideways between two cars. And then she just looked at me and she just did. She said, that was pretty good. And I was like, in that moment, I was like, yeah, I'm cool right now.
All those spin outs racing.
Yeah,
paid
that's what I was
off.
thinking. I was like, see, sometimes I can not crash.
That's great.
It was cool. Yeah, I went between two cars. I don't know where they ended up, but I was like, I'm not stopping here.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it kind of looks like we're gonna have no snow for Christmas. It's gonna
That's
be
okay with me.
staying warm for like. I mean, think about
40?
this. 40. It's gonna be 40 through most of December. We're gonna be to January already with no snow and not a lot of cold. We only got like 2 more months to get through, and it'll be getting warm again.
Yeah, then
By the
it's
time we
gonna
get to March, I mean, we're free sailing into summer from there.
free sailing.
Yeah,
I like it.
just kind of making up words as we go here.
Just making stuff up. I like it. The Spam Jam.
I got pictures. I'll have to dig up some pictures.
I want to
from
see
back-
pictures of the Spam
it's
Jam.
Pretty awesome.
That's what we need. Is pictures of Spam Jam.
Too bad back then we didn't have cell phones that took like cool videos and Instagram and all that stuff
Right.
because it would
I
be
like
there.
that. I like that I didn't have that growing up.
Oh yeah.
Now kids are so consumed by that crap. Like my kids, like I'm really strict on like not being consumed with. Like I make them go outside a lot.
Yeah.
Like go outside and play. But like now they just are stuck on their electronics all the time. Although they're gonna be like really good CNC people when they're older because that's all they do.
Yeah, it was kind of amazing. Friday night we were playing Wii bowling, me and Drew, and
Yeah.
he gets a little crazy, and I'm like trying to tell him to chill out, and he chucked the Wii remote, and
Uh-oh.
literally had just gotten the new TV hooked up, and he threw it. No, but luckily it was on like its follow through, and it smoked me in the side of the face. I had like a Wii remote in red on the side of my face, and I was like, all right, we're not playing. We're done with playing games until Sunday, and having no video games on in the house all day. Saturday was kind of nice actually. We said
Yeah.
we watched some movies, went outside. But yeah, I had like a Wii remote, big old red bruise on the side of my face
Why did you Snapchat that to me?
because I was angry.
I wish I could have saw that. That's funny.
I just went and sat on my bed in the dark and just let it simmer because I was so mad. It hurt so bad. I'm like, dude. of
Why
all
didn't you have
things-
the little like? Isn't there like one of those lanyards you're supposed to have?
Well, yeah, but I mean, let's be real. How many times have
My
we followed
kids
that
have
rule?
to wear those.
Do they really?
Oh, I don't let them play without it.
And then Natalie's like, well, at least it didn't go through your new TV. And I'm like, yeah, but do you see the side of my face? It looks like you abused me. You
You
should
know-
be going to jail.
You know what I think is funny? She valued the TV over your face.
I know, right? That's,
At least it didn't go into the new TV, but
Yep.
sorry about your face.
yeah, it was entertaining.
How many employees do that? They value themselves more than they value your company.
I guess it depends on what kind of company you work for.
Yeah, they're throwing drills.
I think the culture in your company is going to determine whether.
Yeah, we have a pretty good culture here.
Yeah.
I don't have to deal with that a lot.
I kind of think of a couple people that would do that. We work with both of them, so we'll know if it happens.
Oh, dang it, Travis. No, you know what's really cool is that Sean video that we shot last week. They're installing it today.
Oh yeah, the cabinets.
The cabinets are going up today.
Yeah.
Super pumped.
Did he bring his kid to work with him?
No, it's his employee.
Oh, is it? I thought it was his kid.
A young kid, but no, that's his employee.
Oh, shouldn't the kid be in school? Is the kid out of school?
Yeah, he's
he
a
looked
full-time
like he was
employee.
14.
No, he's a whole full-time employee.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's funny.
I honestly was like, thought through the thing, like, oh, it's his
Yeah,
kid,
no,
and then
no,
now it's not
that's-
his kid, and I'm like, shouldn't he be in school?
No, that's an employee of his, and yeah, they're here to install the cabinets today. I'm super pumped.
That's sweet. That's exciting.
CNC Sean installing the new cabinets.
That's awesome.
So that'll be our next video coming out, showing that off. We did that video last week on vacuum. That was pretty cool. Showed that video. We posted that video on the vacuum.
Oh yeah,
down.
yeah.
The number of people that blown away by how vacuum works. I love it every time. Like,
Yeah,
wait a second.
It's
That's how it works?
surprising. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was the same way. I was like, how is this actually?
Yeah. If you haven't checked it out,
because I didn't know it was. Yeah, it was.
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I think they're on all of them right
Yep,
now.
it is.
But
Yep.
yeah, it's a little like 3-minute video. Sean shows vacuum hold down and how it works on our table. And I mean, it shows you really well how well the Becker vacuum pump works, how well the engineered tabletop works. Somebody made a comment last week about how, oh, you're doing a disservice for the Gasket Company. And I'm like, I'd be doing a disservice for our engineers and our employees if I didn't show off the great work they
100%.
do. You know,
Yeah.
like it's just, to me, I think it's funny. Like we sell gasket material specifically for applications that require it.
Yeah, like
But to make the assumption that you need it on everything is just like, that's almost an insult to the people who actually spend their time developing this
right.
stuff.
I think it's been very well explained that the company and their gaskets
Yeah.
are very good for applications that need it, like the smaller parts and things that are going to fly off your machine if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. And like a Wii remote that hits you in the face.
Oh, good callback.
That's pretty good.
Appreciate that.
That was good, wasn't it? I was just envisioning us cutting a bunch of Wii remotes and one flying and hitting you in the face.
It hurt so bad. I'm not even going to lie. I had a headache for like 2 days.
How old is Drew?
He will be 7 in a couple weeks.
Your 7-year-old threw a fastball at your face.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we're in a big living. Like the fact that he was 4 feet away from me and it hit me that perfectly, like just flat on the side of my face, and just like, yeah, it was.
I'm picturing Home Alone when the iron hits him in the face. It leaves
That's
the mark.
probably what it was, because Natalie saw it. She's like, "Oh my God, there's a whole red mark on your face."
She's like, oh my God, it's player 2 is lit up on your face.
I'm like, "Go cook me some donuts."
Dude, your wife made donuts and she sent me pictures and it was amazing.
I'm sure she was up before I got up this morning, and she had cooked herself eggs and sausage and crap for breakfast at like 5 this. I'm like,
Dude,
"Go
I
back
just,
to
when
bed."
she sent that picture of the donuts she made, I was like,
Oh yeah, she's
I sent her a text and I said, I'll take with pink frosting, please.
like a chef for our kids before
Dude,
school every
your,
morning.
your wife's very motivated. I do not cook.
No,
Not to that level. Your wife makes stuff from scratch all the way.
every single day.
It's crazy.
Something.
She
She just finds something on Pinterest and then makes it her own way.
the Pinterest cooking.
I don't think I've ever seen her use a measuring cup in my life.
Really?
No, she just knows what amount is what and just
Wow, that's awesome.
just pours it.
Really jealous of that.
I'm like, dude,
I use the measuring cup and I can't get it right.
right? Like you try to pour oil in a measuring cup,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden it's overflowing or
Yeah.
whatever. It's like, no, she just
2
dumps some in.
tablespoons. Oh, no, that's not 2.
Yeah, it's mind blowing. I suppose
Yeah.
if you do it all the time, every day, you just kind of know what a cup of oil looks like.
There's a reason why I sell CNC machines.
True story.
It's because I can't measure without a measuring cup and I can't draw a straight line.
And she's smart. Then it's less dishes you have to do.
It's true.
But not implying that she's the only one that does dishes, because I put dishes in the dishwasher once a week as well.
That's nice. Just Drew putting it in the dishwasher?
No, he's too busy throwing Wii remotes around the house.
It's so funny. I kind of want to I want to congratulate him on a nice throw. Can we call him?
We could have him listen to this podcast,
Congratulations,
Yeah.
Drew, on throwing a Wii remote and hitting your dad square in the head.
and he'll laugh about it, even though like the look on his face of sheer terror.
Yeah, because he thought dad was going to kill him.
wondering if I was gonna punch him in the face.
And think about that as a kid.
Not that I would ever do that.
Dude, that's what I think about. I was just going to say that. Like, as a kid, my dad never hit me. But when my dad got mad, I remember having that sheer fear that
yeah.
my dad would just end me.
I hadn't
and
even-
now as an adult, I'm like, what was I so afraid of? Like,
Yep.
It's just that's how you parent. As a parent, that sheer fear that your kids have is how you parent.
I hadn't even said a word, and I just looked over, and he was like, "Oh
you
God,
were concussed. You
what's
couldn't
gonna
talk.
happen? Am I gonna get taxed? Is my dad gonna get taxed on my death right now?"
You had to
Bring it back to taxes.
Oh God, you were in concussion protocol. You had to go to the blue tent.
I'm sure Natalie actually said, "Should we go to the doctor or do you get another concussion?" I'm like, "No, I'll be fine." 2 days later, I still have a headache. I've been taking Midol and ibuprofen for 2 days, and nothing is working.
It's because you have a concussion. Oh, that's funny. But kind of got off track there, but hopefully everybody got a good laugh out of that one. But no, like I said, the big thing today is just taking away, like, the end of the year's here. You're running out of time. Like, don't put everybody in a position where come January, we're all in a bad situation because we can't help you. So, it's time to do something now. Let's get ahead of it before taxes get you. Like I said, tax and death are two guarantees, and we know tax season's coming in January. So, fortunately, we know a timetable on that one. So let's avoid it. Let's help you take advantage of Section 179. We got no payment for 90 days, meaning if you buy a new ShopSabre right now with our financing program, you don't even pay for it until March of next year. Isn't that crazy?
It's a heck of a deal.
The end of March right now. Because what is it, the 14th or something today? 12th?
12th, yeah.
13th, something?
Something like that.
Yeah, whatever day it is. It's same time in March. So it's like you're almost through the first quarter using your new equipment. Right now, lead times are starting to grow a little bit. Obviously, we're selling a lot of equipment with the end of the year, but we're still 4 to 6 weeks right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still pretty dang low when you consider things. So
think about that. Use your machine for 1 quarter of the year and maybe even do enough work to pay for the darn thing before
that's
you
the
even
cool
have to
thing.
pay for it.
Yeah, we have a lot of people that pay their machine off in that amount of time.
It's amazing.
And that's where it's like, if you do this right, you can literally set up your 2024 to be really, really successful.
Absolutely.
While saving money on the 2023. So that's what I got today. You got anything else, Nick?
I don't think so. I think we covered a lot of that. Covered everything. Yeah.
We'll be back next Wednesday with another episode.
Tuesday.
Wednesday?
Oh, I guess they'll release it Wednesday.
Yeah.
Good
We
call.
record Tuesday. They see it Wednesday.
That's right.
Way to go. Now everybody
Stepped
knows.
on your touchdown call.
Now
Sorry.
everybody knows.
We're not recording it live at 4 a.m.
This
when
is
it
not,
releases.
this is not live.
No.
It makes me sad. We're not live. I tried to do it live one time. Couldn't figure out how to do it. So that's how come we're not live. But yeah, make sure you go check out our website because we got some new stuff coming this week.
ShopSabre.com.
And be sure to subscribe to our Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that, because there's going to be, like I said, our big release on Friday. So
Friday.
So, like I said, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for talking shop with ShopSabre. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Nick.